everyone.
My name's Isaac Campbell. I'm an artist originally from Ottumwa, Iowa.
My name is Thomas Adrian, and I'm a local artist in Iowa City.
My name is Miriam Adrian. I'm an artist, immigrant from Mexico.
I'm Jonathan Sims. I'm an illustrator. I live here in Iowa City, and I've been drawing my whole life.
I'm Ryan Benzinger, and I'm a teaching artist based in Iowa City.
My name is Sayuri Sasaki Himan, and I'm a local artist living and working in Iowa City.
What kind of artist are you?
My title is photographer, multimedia, and visual storytelling artist. For me, creating with any type of material, it's a miracle. So I do a lot of things.
You know, over the years, I've really become sort of a landscape painter, and I paint all kinds of things.
A lot of the stuff I do is cartoony and colorful and weird and over the top. I'm really influenced by comic books, cartoons from the 90s, and skateboard culture, graffiti, things like that.
Probably very expressive and very narrative. A lot of storytelling and a lot of fantasy and creatures.
Have you always liked art?
I always liked art. It was always my favorite class when I was a kid. And as soon as art club started in whatever grade that was, I was doing that.
I always wanted to be an artist. I can remember drawing robots in preschool, and I've been drawing ever since. I always loved looking at drawings in books and cartoons.
I did not always know I wanted to be an artist. When I was in elementary school, I was always doing stuff like drawing or making things or building things or being creative. But in middle school and high school, I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know it existed in college.
What are murals?
I think some people could say any painting that is just of a very large scale, sort of bigger than you, is maybe mural scale, but they're never intended to be outside or viewed outside. Whereas murals, which sometimes can be hundreds of feet long, they exist in an environment. And so thinking about how that piece of artwork relates to everything around it, I think is something that's very intrinsic to murals.
So a wheat paste mural is a really special kind of mural that uses just a few simple ingredients. There's paper, there's flour, water, and sugar. And the flour, water, and sugar make a glue, and then the paper is pieced together like a giant puzzle on the walls to create images that are really, really, really big. The murals can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Sometimes they can last for years. They're always changing. It's almost like it's a piece that's kind of alive because it starts to tear and rip and fade and things like that. So it really is up to the community or whoever the building owner is on when that mural comes down.
Can you tell us about your mural?
I had actually applied for a different mural in Iowa City that was specifically, they wanted it themed on Iowa City, something to do with the history, the area. And I drew this scene with a whole bunch of prehistoric creatures who had lived in this area during the Devonian age. And I did not get that mural, but the next time I applied to a mural, I repurposed parts of that design, and I picked the Dunkleosteus because of the fact that he's featured in the Natural History Museum here in town, and he just has a lot of character. He's kind of a big, scary monster, and I really wanted to paint him nice and large.
It was Leslie Nolte's idea, who owns the James Theater, and part of her vision for this place led to the raccoon, which represents the masked performer, if I am correct. So yeah, she let me do my thing as long as it was a raccoon. And of course we had sketches ahead of time. She kind of picked the pose. I think initially she wanted a little cuter than this, but it turns out, is what it is. So
This one that's downtown, that's all like prairie plants, and it's all kind of monochromatic. So it's blue and white mostly, which is a type is taken from imagery of cyanotypes, which is like a very, very old photographic technique. And that was a project where it was like my interests and my vision. Another one like that is on New Pioneer Food Co-op. I was like fresh off of working on farms, and my partner worked for the co-op, and this wall where everybody sat and ate lunch was very, very bleak and ugly. And so I just pitched to them painting this mural on the wall. And that still, it sort of was really my first big mural. And that's still one of my favorite ones for that reason, that it feels very much like me, and it's playful and colorful and fun. It's not too serious.
I was contacted by the Coralville Public Library, and they had seen some of the work that I do, and they wanted to add art to their celebration about the 150th birthday of Coralville. So when we were working with the historical photographs, we noticed that the photos really didn't represent what Coralville looks like today. We knew that we needed to celebrate the future of Coralville as well, and the best way to see that is in the schools. And so then we went to a couple of the different schools, and we did photo shoots with all of the students that wanted to participate. They came and they got their picture taken, and then we printed them off in big sheets, and then even a lot of the kids got to come and help put their photo up. And so we pasted all of their photos on the sides of the school buildings that they went to, so that the community could see just how bright the future is.
I'm most known for the mural that's on the wall right in front of the Anglet Theater. This is a participatory mural, and that was created in collaboration with many youth that helped me. We did all of the painting together, but we wanted to have each of the youth's signature in form of creatures that they come up with. So they made their own creatures, and then that was their signature on the mural. Since this was a huge wall, I couldn't project the design onto the wall. So we had to grid the mural first and then hand draw the elements. So we would have to make design with the spray paint first. We then allot the colors. And so we talked a lot about coexisting in this world, in this universe, and celebrating the differences of each other, and then navigating each other's presence together.
The name of the mural, Matli, or in English, Rainbow Blanket. The way how this is paint and the sarape work is that you have one color next to the other one, and then there is strips of the next color that blends together each other. So when you think that you have a community from different backgrounds and cultures, from different colors, and then you put them together, they together, just by standing next to each other, they will learn from the other one, and they will share their cultures. So all these colors represents that community creating this beautiful blanket, and this rainbow blanket will warm the community, and everyone who sits in this space, it will feel the love and the vibrancy of the energy and just light up just because the space is so colorful.
How do you choose which colors to use?
I love particular colors and also think about contrast, what colors go well with this and what do you want to emphasize and what do you want to recede. So allocating colors is really exciting to me. And so that's also another thing that we were thinking about when we were designing it, is how each color relate to each other, and kind of in a bigger idea of how we relate to each other in the world.
I took color theory classes in college. I have so many feelings about color. At this point, I've done so much art that it just kind of flows naturally. If I'm using a certain blue, I'll want to use a specific type of green with that, and another green might not look as good.
I think if you pick colors that are invented colors or inventive colors, then that's great. And you should just be thoughtful about, if I'm picking colors that aren't really what the thing is, how am I making the decisions about what colors everything are, and how do those things relate to each other in the mural? But there's no rules. So
When you are working with a lot of people on an idea, how do you reach an agreement?
Especially in the murals that I make, it's all about collaboration. It's all about working with people and getting people involved. And that means that a lot of times there's a lot of opinions that come in.
if there's a lot of people in the room making a decision, sometimes it can get in the way of making the best decision. Rather than trying to include everybody's imagery in the design, if you can look amongst the ideas that people have for trends or threads that connect some of those things, you might be able to find one more cohesive design that at the end of the day makes for a really pretty image.
Keith Haring said, "Art is for everyone." What does that mean to you?
I feel very strongly about having art for everyone. Having art not just in the museum or not in just a gallery, but having it in everyone's view is important to me.
Most of the work that I'm interested in doing is public, and I think that there's a part of that, again, that speaks to me in a sense of anybody can see it.
So this mural is on a sort of daycare preschool in my neighborhood, and it's a building that I walked past for years and years and years and years. And the building just felt a little bit sad to me, and I had always wanted to do something on it. So I gave a whole bunch of coloring sheets, like coloring book sheets of the building, that asked kids to say, like, this is your building. What do you want your building to look like? And so people colored those in, and I translated what the themes of all those coloring book sheets, which felt to me really, as you might expect, bright, colorful, exuberant, bold.
So for there to be the kind of human touch in our built environment, I think that's something that's really important.
Art is for everyone, especially when it's put into the public in a way that people can see it. Obviously, art galleries and institutions are super important, but art doesn't always have to be in the building. And art can be out where you are. Art can go to you.
Then when you're talking about public art, nothing can happen without the work and support of many people coming together. I do have another one. There is another neighborhood in Iowa City. A very strong Sudanese community live in that neighborhood. We collaborate with some Sudanese artists and we create some murals. In that section, I paint a mural of kids playing football, soccer, because if you have kids from different cultures, they speak different language, if you bring a soccer ball, it doesn't matter if they don't speak the same language. They will know the language of the soccer, of the football, and they will start to kick the ball and playing together. So public art is not just meant for public, art is meant to live in community, created by community.
This is Lucha Mania Herky. He's modeled off of a masked Mexican wrestler. I really like the Herkies, especially after seeing the public's response to them. They bring in a lot of people who maybe otherwise wouldn't be interested in art or other public art. I think it's really important to take boring walls and make them more inviting and vibrant. It just makes everybody's day better.
Any closing thoughts you want to share?
I come from a small town, southeast Iowa, and I've been able to make a big impact. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Nobody taught me how to do murals. I never had a mural teacher or a mural class or anything like that. I got into doing murals because I was really excited to make a change in my town. And especially sometimes it can feel like there are things that you can't change about things that are just out of your control, but I could control that really ugly wall outside of my local grocery store.
The secret to my art making is I take something usually very silly and commit to it 100% and treat it like it's the most serious thing in the world, even though it's just overall a pretty goofy idea.
What I tell all my students always is like, what you do now matters. Like when I self-published my book and my major museum show was a bunch of monsters and robots fighting each other, which is what I did when I was in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. So I think a lot of times you think what you're doing at the time is just what I'll do as a kid, and when I grow up I'll do that. But what you love now and what you do now really matters, and it'll affect you throughout your whole life. So
art is important, and you don't have to have too much to create. You don't have to have all the paint colors in the world to enjoy painting. You can just have a pencil and draw. If you only have pencil, you can adapt.
Para todos esos niños latinos que, así como yo cuando estaba chiquita, tenían el sueño de crear y de ver un hermoso mundo de colores, si tú tienes esa pasión, ese espíritu para crear y para dibujar y para decir, yo quiero ser artista, nunca dudes de que puedes conseguirlo.
I think you just have to believe in what's right and treat people with kindness and want to do good things. So whether you're watching this, in a 1A school or a 4A school or wherever, just know that you can make a difference too.